welcome into another edition of 907 Sports, recapping all things right here in the state of Alaska, where we are coming off an exciting week 2 of action. Jordan, I hear you were taking a little bit of time off, so I think we'll switch it to me this time.
Yeah, right? Been able to follow along from afar, let's say, but yes, definitely up to date, and now we'll learn more of what's going on week 2 here in 907 Sports.
Definitely. Let's jump into the first game. We'll start off with Friday night. Jordan, I know you were at that Colony game in week 1. What were your initial thoughts of those nights?
Well, they really controlled all 3 stages of the game, I guess you'd say, in that one, and just really dominated both sides of the field in that one. So it was really a highly anticipated matchup for this one. Both teams coming off of week 1 wins. We got 2 talented quarterbacks, but really it was Rock Phelps and Christian Font seemed like to have quite the connection there on this one.
Yes, they did, and obviously you saw Colony getting off to that 7-0 lead, but it really didn't last for long, and it started right here with Christian Font, who you just mentioned. This was right before halftime, not even 2 seconds left to go. Buzzer beater, if you will, going into the half now at 7-7, and then here he is in the third quarter, finding him once again. That puts him up by 14. Really, at this point, Service just started piling it on. Just something you don't really see that often. That's exactly what we saw on the very next play, which you'll about to see here in 2 seconds. Fumbled on the punt return. He was like, oh, wait, what's going on? Oh, well, big man touchdown.
Let's go.
We really don't see these that often.
Rumbling, fumbling, stumbling.
That's To'o Malaisilia. We'll get his name right at some point. We're tracking those down still, but obviously a big play for him and a big win for Service as they improved to 2-0, 27-15 the final score, and here he is walking through that play.
I just seen the ball on the ground, and I'm just thankful for my teammates for looking out for me and blocking for me. They're the reason why I scored that touchdown.
I don't know if you could see, but there was a guy like right on your tail. Like, were you feeling the footsteps behind you there?
Yeah, but shout out to my boy Hunter. He blocked for me, so like I said, I'm thankful for my teammates and what they do for me to score.
Crucial block right there.
Yeah, another big win for Service there, and they coming off. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good. No, I mean, obviously, just for Service in general, off the year they had, neither of these teams had won back-to-back games since 2023.
Yeah.
Think about that. Obviously, Colony not winning a single game until last week. So both of these teams, they deserved this one way or the other. Service ultimately being the ones that pull it out this time.
And they had, Tarian Phillip, of course, as a threat, was in week 1 as a receiver. But if you get a couple of more weapons out there for Service and Phelps, that will be big for Service there coming up.
Another big game going on for these guys. We'll get this video planned for you in just a second. There we go. South Anchorage taking on Bartlett. South was losers last week. They were looking to come back this time against losers against West, and in overtime, this game 7-7. Who thought this thing would have gone to overtime? And right there, Garrett Hobbins getting the first possession of the period for them, getting the lead. And then once again, here he is, the second play, not even a play later, sealing the game for them. South Anchorage taking this one 14-7. And again, I think a lot of us thought was going to be a little more lopsided.
Right, and South's going to be right in the mix here come October. And for Bartlett, just 3 touchdowns in these first 2 weeks. Very talented defensively, as we know, but see if we can't pick up the pieces on offense, and that will really make them a complete team there. But South, the dark side, coming through once again. We have to hear from Coach Lewis after the victory.
So, as a captain, that's Garrett Hobbins. Again, as you look at our kids, they don't look much, but these guys train. They're smarter than everybody else. They're faster than everybody else. They're tougher than everybody else. That's just the dark side way. Hobbins is a person. Again, he's part of that dark side. He leads. He sits there. He's been a backup QB or starting QB for a long time. Hates it. So he's like, thank God I get to play defense. And for what he does, he's always confident. If he makes a mistake, he'll never make it again. And look what happens. Our little guys just go out there and just punch away, and we get the win.
That's the one thing you will always hear from Coach Lewis and these South Anchorage teams is doesn't matter who they have out there, they're going to go into every single matchup like they have the potential to win it, and obviously in this one they certainly did. Absolutely,
and it's a good start to 907 Sports. We're really just getting started here with a championship rematch, West Anchorage Diamond Lynx. What do we got out of this one?
Obviously this game, especially the fourth quarter here, because obviously I came in and swapped out for one of our reporters. At this point, it was very much, long delays, right? We had a little bit of a scuffle that saw some delays, an injury that caused the game to pause for a little bit. West had to wait a while to get this, as did Maverick Kursk on this play right there that you just saw. Game-winning interception. He had 4 different tries at it before he finally got the ball in his hands. So obviously a game-sealing pick to get the win, and a big one for them as they come back from their loss in the championship last year, really motivating the entire lineup across the board.
It was the best feeling of my life, especially like this was our revenge game, get that championship back. And, just getting that interception to seal game, best feeling ever.
Hey, it's all about pulling through when we need them the most, and our defense has been doing that all year, all off season, working hard, getting that win. Kudos to our guys on the defense side, and it's a team effort, and that's how we played it.
Yeah, West has been winning these defensive battles early, haven't had to put up too many points, especially when you shut teams down to a touchdown at most here this early on.
And West obviously is looking as good as they do. A lot of the things we're noticing this season so far, that's at least a little different from what I saw last, is the defenses are a lot better. Teams are stepping up a lot more on that side of the ball. Offenses all around are still kind of sorting things out. Week 3 is another opportunity for them to change that, but so far it's been the defense is shining so far, and really a lot of teams haven't stacked lineups so far. Bartlett, West, South. Coach Lewis was asking us to put some respect on them, and they've obviously earned that. Plenty of teams this year so far really shining on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and a lot of season left, so we'll see. And we know in Division I, all the teams make the playoffs, so anything can happen here as we get going. We're checking a little bit of Division II action. The likes of the Lathrops and Soldotna is picking up wins again as they look to rematch in the state championship once again. But let's check in on these other squads, North Pole and Palmer. And say what you want about the Moose, they are stampeding into the end zone week after week. That's back-to-back weeks with over 40-plus points as they take care of North Pole pretty handily in this Week 2 matchup.
Yeah, we were just talking about defense, but D2, it's been a complete opposite story. Obviously, Soldotna's already scored over 100 points. Palmer's getting up there with them here. I mean, they have an offense that I like. Obviously, you know how much I like the quarterback that they have.
Yeah.
That play level that they have, and just in general, I mean, Palmer's an historic power as well.
Yeah.
A little before our time, of course, but they're trying to get back to that level too. And I think just even with a 1-1 record and a loss to Soldotna, they showed that they were still as good as they could be keeping up with there.
No.
They're no slouch this year, so keep an eye on them.
No, 5 interceptions and 5 rushing touchdowns, which is how you get it done, forcing turnovers, controlling the ground game there. So excited to see how that plays out.
And the question really goes, can they keep up with Soldotna? They have, though, some other big matchups coming up that will kind of show where they're at. They got Lathrop on September 19th, and then the big one, they face Juneau August 30th this week. So a D1 versus D2 match. That one I think is really going to show whether this squad is really legit or if,
Yeah, no, that's a lot of big matchups to see how it unfolds, as we talked about Lathrop taking care of Eagle River there, and Juneau picking up a win over East, who starts their season off 0-2, and Sohai 64, Chugiak 7 in that final.
Soldotna once again showing, hey, we're all these other teams, we're still here.
Oh yeah,
We're
don't
still
sleep
hanging
on
around.
them. West Valley picking up a D2 win over Wasilla, which was a big one as they sort out the middle of Division II there. And Reddington, big win over Kenai, while Homer still looks to be like the team to beat in Division III, the reigning state champs.
Most definitely Homer, Reddington, those two are hanging around as well. Good on Houston to get that get-back win against Kodiak too. So a lot of teams, again, Week 2, still sorting those things out. Week 3 and Week 4, where we'll probably start to see a little bit of separation the rest of the way.
Yeah, and there's some, as the NFL makes their roster cut, some of these NFL players have played on these gridirons before. We had a trio hoping to make that final roster 53-man, which was finalized on Tuesday, but unfortunately none of the Alaskans quite made that initial cut. We'll start with Brandon Peely. He was looking to make his debut for the Seahawks this year after spending 2 seasons in Miami. Had that huge safety, as you see him celebrating there in that Week 2 preseason win, but didn't appear again, dealing with an undisclosed injury, and was waived by Seattle on Tuesday. But good news is, quickly signed a practice squad deal today as of just a few hours ago, so looking to bounce back and be within the program still.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think this was a no-brainer, I think, in a lot of different ways. You saw just how many, even the Seahawks media and all these different fan bases were reacting and going, this was a bit of a head-scratcher, because even after the move, they were very thin at nose tackle specifically, and I think everyone kind of figured, like, okay, he may not make the active roster at this point, but he should at least be brought back. That's now, come to fruition.
Yes, and so who knows how it plays out with injuries and depth, and, so he's at least within the organization to get the call-up if need be one day, so we'll keep an eye on that. And one much of Alaska was rooting for was Aiden Williams, the undrafted Division II rookie. He had shined in his preseason debut with the Steelers, 54 snaps, was highly graded by PFF. But just had that knee injury soon after, didn't play those last 2 preseason games. It was unfortunately waived by the Steelers on Tuesday.
It's a tough road for undrafted guys at any level, specifically, but I think it's his most likely chance is still ending up on that Steelers practice squad or another team down the line. If this is the journey for him at this point, obviously a big way for him to go from going from East Anchorage to starring at Minnesota Duluth and getting to this level in any way is obviously an accomplishment. But I do think I still see a future for him, whether that's on the practice squad with the Pittsburgh or another team as well.
Yeah, and you have to think that unfortunate timing of the injury has to play a role in that as well. And a third Alaskan is Edefon Ulafosho, former South Anchorage Wolverine. Buffalo, using their 5th-round draft pick on him last year, did make some appearances as a rookie, made a few tackles on special teams, but that's where he primarily had 10 tackles in the preseason with all of his action, but wasn't quite enough to make the cut there, but soon picked up Browns practice squad announced as of today. So Edefon may have a new change of scenery here.
Yeah, kind of like how everyone kind of thought Peely was going to make the Seahawks roster. This is one where we kind of thought, okay, he's probably not ending up in Buffalo. We saw that in the preseason. He was getting subbed in and out for other guys on the depth chart a lot, and specifically in those 3rd and 4th quarters in the preseason where you see a lot of those guys that may make the roster play a little more. But good on him, obviously, for sticking around. A little bit of a culture shock probably going from a Super Bowl contender to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, right. No, and hopefully he makes the most of his opportunity there. So we have 2 out of the 3 Alaskans on practice squads right now. We'll keep an eye on Aiden Williams as that plays out. As things really picking up here this fall. We're going to head to a cross-country meet here in a little bit, but be sure to tune into the 4 o'clock Alaska's News Source broadcast as we're going to sign off here shortly. Volleyball season, both high school and collegiate, getting underway. 1 p.m. first serve for UAA, while UAF is also in town, a part of that Alaska-Hawaii Challenge tournament, which will be fun.
Yeah, some big ones, obviously. 3 different preseason tournaments for UAA volleyball. I had a chance to catch up with them a couple times this week at the alumni game and at practice earlier, and just seeing how they're feeling. Tina Allen, GNAC All-Conference selection as well. Big one for me, being the old Rollins College guy, seeing that Charles will be coming up here as well to play them. So a lot of different things for all the different people in the area getting a chance to see volleyball this year. A lot of different angles for them.
Yeah, so tune in to the late edition for more on that. But for now, that will do it for 907 Sports. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, guys.